Okay, Tony, looking back at the Hull game first, disappointed with the draw?
Yeah, to some degree. I was disappointed to be behind in the game where I thought we created enough opportunities and to be ahead, much less be in a position to have to come from behind. So yeah, disappointed with that aspect, but it's understandable this time of year. But all teams go a bit underdone at this time of the year, without the match fitness, and because our seasons are so long, it's a bit unpredictable as to what you're going to produce and what other teams are going to produce as well. So yeah, it's not surprising, but at the same time, mixed feelings. So there was a lot of positive things to take on board as well. I thought we showed some very, very good signs, and even the fact of coming from behind when needed, to be able to find a try late on in the game when you need it badly to put yourself in a position where maybe you can win it is a pretty good asset to have in your kit bag. So it was a good practice for us.
Do you see it as a point gained or a point lost?
Oh no, we did enough in that game to and created enough opportunity to score 3, 4, 5 more tries. Whether you won it or lost it, or we could easily have gone either way in both of those sort of those situations. We had a couple of things go our way as well, but certainly we had a couple of things go against us. But that's why you've got to execute. You just got to take the lessons from each and every game, and and get better from it and learn from it. And I know we will. There were good signs, as I said.
You were frustrated by some of the refereeing decisions?
No, yeah, that's. I'm not so much at the referee so much. Yeah, there was one try that was was a knock on basically that was given, but so there was a bit of not even frustration about that. That can happen to you, but you try not to. But it's more the fact that we had the same referee in our last four competitive games in this country, and on each occasion, probably they've been in a differing style each and every one of those occasions. That's the frustrating bit, and I don't blame the referee himself for that. That's more the system, and that's what I've got in question more so than the refereeing performance of any one referee. I think each weekend we see differing styles and differing styles in which games are refereed, and whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, maybe it's something that we embrace and see as what adds to our sport and why it's different to the NRL, and in terms of each week is different, and we should embrace it.
So how do you think the system can be improved?
Well, depends if we want to improve it, doesn't it? If we see it as a benefit to our game, and that each and every week's different, and we maybe you don't want to change anything, but what the solutions are there for other people to decide, and I just tell it as it is, in terms of where it's quite most people within even the press and I think spectators notice what I'm talking about on a weekly basis, and that it's things are different, and sometimes it's from Friday to Saturday games are different, but sometimes it's the one week will be one way and it'll be another way the next week, and I'm not talking about favouritism of any team. It's just mainly about interpretations of rules, and particularly around the ruck speed and whether there's wrestling allowed or not allowed from week to week. It's all we're quite differing and contrasting from week to week.
One of the big talking points before the game was the absence of Lee Briers and the disciplinary action of dropping him. What's the latest on that?
He served his sentence. He put his hand up about his lack of preparation for that game, and he's paid his price, and he's now in contention for selection this week. Last week he wasn't. He would have played in the 20s last week. He wasn't available for the first team, but Lee took it on the chin and paid his price, and now he gets on with things. And if he's selected this week, we'll go out there and play well, no doubt.
Were you disappointed by the lack of preparation?
Sure, but we're dealing with young people and young men, and you know, people make errors. We all make errors. I've said it many times on interviews with you, Gary, and you know, we're human beings, and sometimes some of our judgments of decisions aren't always right, and that goes for players, coaches, young people, dare I say it, middle-aged people, and all sorts of that we all make mistakes. As long as we're prepared to pay the price and learn from them, and don't let them happen too regularly. I think it's to err is human, isn't it?
Oh, it certainly is, yes. But we thought those days were possibly behind us with players like Lee.
Oh no! Listen, I think that's a bit righteous. That we all get to a certain age and we don't make mistakes anymore. That's far from it. I'm sure if I delve into your personal life and anybody's personal life, we all come up with errors in judgment and make or say or do things that are wrong from time to time. To hang him out to dry and say that he's too old to make mistakes. Well, I don't think I've seen a human being that is that old.
So he's back in contention for the visit to the Broncos.
Well, the visit of them to us, more so. We won't keep him out until we visit them. We'll be happy to put him in contention anyway. He's like everybody else now. We'll have to assess everybody's performances from the weekend, and if he's deemed to be the right person for the job this weekend, we'll select him. But what he did do is give everybody in front of him a chance and first opportunity. So we'll sit down and make those discussions and work out the best possible team for this weekend.
Are there any injury concerns from the Hull game?
Yeah, Mickey Hyam hyperextended his elbow, and so he's got a bit of fluid on that. Hopefully it won't be too serious, and he should be back in contention the following week, I would expect. So Mickey Hyam, and other than that, we've got Joel coming back from injury, and also Matty Blythe, and of course Lee from his suspension. So we lost one in game 3, so not a bad equation.
And what are you expecting from the Broncos?
We haven't had a chance to look at them too much, but they had a pretty competitive game against St Helens, so that says something in itself. But they're a bit of an unknown quantity, and I'm sure they'll still be trying to hit their straps like we are ourselves. And but they've acquired some very good players and some experienced players. So they'll be a different kettle of fish to what we probably faced this time. Well, not this time, but in the corresponding game this time last year. But they'll be tough. Different kettle of fish.
Now, looking out on the pitch with the covers on it out there, have you got any concerns that the match might not even take place?
Oh, geez, I don't know.
Summer rugby?
Yeah. Well, that's the problem with starting so early, isn't it? You're always going to be rolling the dice in terms of conditions, and certainly something that probably needs to be looked at. Well, definitely needs to be looked at, and number of games played and early seasons and quality of rugby league at this time of the year. But that's all up to smarter and wiser people than me.
Okay, Tony. Good luck at the weekend.
Thanks, Gary.